Hey Red, how you doing? Any chance you're interested in a job?
Guess I'm in.
Good man.
But who's the guy with like the beard and he's got like the pickaxe and he's
Oh,
like the
Yukon
yeah,
Cornelius.
dude, Yukon Cornelius. Guys, Merry Christmas. This
Merry
is
Christmas.
wild, right? This falls on Christmas Day, so if you're watching this Christmas Day, you gotta let us know because that is true men's adventure fiction at its finest. That's commitment. You're a real one for that.
You are a real one for that. That's great. Yeah, drop it in the comments. Thank you if you're here spending Christmas with us. A thrill. I will say, if you're not, even if you're not listening to this on Christmas Day, if you listen to it the day after, I hope that today on Christmas you're able to read some sort of men's adventure fiction, smoke a pipe, have a good old time with your family. Just
Yeah.
enjoy the holiday season. Maybe drink a glass of eggnog. Who knows? But Merry Christmas. We're very happy to have you guys here. Hope you're enjoying the
Yeah.
holiday with your family.
Merry Christmas, guys, and I hope that you guys get to do all you want and you get the most men's adventure fiction presents you could have ever asked for. Some of the best books coming your way. I'm always curious, like, what are your biggest traditions for the holiday? So let us know that in the comments too. If there's something you like to do every holiday season, if there's a specific movie, or I know James Dawson, who's in the Discord, he reads The Spy Who Came In From the Cold. That's not what he reads. What am I talking about? He reads the David Morrell one. I'm blanking on the title.
Was
but
it like The Spy Who Came for Christmas? I
Yes,
think?
that's what it is. Yes, The
Yeah,
Spy
yeah.
Who Came
'Cause
for Christmas. He reads that every
it's
year.
definitely
Yeah,
a play on The Spy Who Came In from the Cold.
Right.
Which is, when you said that, I was like, yeah, that's it for sure. And I was like, wait, no, that's not right either. Yeah, for sure. Drop a comment below. What was the most men's adventure fiction thing you got for Christmas, if there was anything at all? But we'd love to hear it. And
Absolutely.
we'll tell you guys too.
Yeah, we'll get there. So for this episode, what we want to do, we're going to keep it casual because it is Christmas. We're going to have some fun. I kind of wrote down a list of a few Christmas men's adventure fiction films or men's adventure fiction Christmas films. We're going to discuss them. I think we'll keep the crown jewels, the creme de la creme of Die Hard and Lethal Weapon kind of towards the back end of this conversation because we'll have maybe more to say about those.
Yeah.
So let's maybe start here, if you're okay with it, Nathaniel. The string of what are we doing, guys, type of movies that are coming out recently. I guess maybe a great place to start is the most recent one, and then we'll kind of backtrack. Red One. What's going on here?
No.
This was a disaster, right? I haven't seen it personally, but here's the thing. How much money did they lose because it's already on Prime? And you said it's not
Yeah.
that surprising because I guess it's an Amazon movie.
Yeah.
But, like, that's not a good sign for your movie to be, we're the huge blockbuster, biggest movie
know.
ever. Like, we got Chris Evans and The Rock and J.K. Simmons. And it looks like, a generic, like, Marvel movie as far as how big the budget is. But then it's on Prime within, like, a month. That's not good.
I mean, I think it came out November 26th or something like that. That seems very so it's like literally about 2 weeks,
Yikes.
which is crazy. And this is the thing, right? I haven't seen it either. And that's kind of part of the problem. I feel like we should be the target audience for this film.
Right.
And I really have and I mean, we've talked about this a bunch of times before. Maybe it's a good movie. I will reserve judgment until I see it. But to that point, I know, like, from the trailers, I saw an abominable snowman that was 100% CGI. And I know sometimes in the trailers and stuff, they're not able to, it doesn't look as good on the smaller screen. It's not like actually how it's going to look in the film sometimes. But I don't know, just seeing stuff like that's like immediately a red flag for me. I'm like, I really don't, and I think that comes from my desire for filmmaking, is that it goes back to, like, let's do a movie where we're outside the entire time. We're not in a studio for one part of it, or if we are, it's like a sick office space where, like, spy stuff happens. Like, it goes back to, I've been spoiled by John Wick and Mission Impossible, Ethan Hunt,
Right.
Keanu Reeves, all these dudes actually doing their own stunts, all these dudes fighting other guys. It's real, right? Right? It's like visceral. It takes your
Right.
breath away. You watch it and you're like, all right, if like Keanu Reeves is actually doing this, dude, maybe John Wick could actually happen. I know John Wick gets like super crazy sometimes, but it's like Keanu is actually doing it. If this almost 60-year-old guy is able to train and be this badass, someone who's been doing it for their whole life probably could kill 500 guys in the span of
Right.
however long he does it. It makes you buy in. So then you got like an interesting concept, right? Santa gets kidnapped is the concept of
I think so. Yeah.
Red One, and then they get the naughtiest person in the world, Chris Evans, to come in because they need him for some reason. And I don't know. I really have no desire to watch it, but it could
Yeah.
be a movie. But when you see that, like, whole entire movie's filmed on a green screen, it's like, man, come on, guys, this is
Right.
not it.
And I mean, you guys are all the demographic here. You guys are all the prime target audience. I think. Am I
The
wrong for?
Amazon Prime, nice, nice.
Yeah.
One.
Am I wrong for saying that we kind of all in the men's adventure fiction and pulp world, we do want more like practical effects. We want more just legit filmmaking in camera. Just do
Yeah.
the stunt, do it on set. I don't want to see CGI. I feel like that's probably why Uncharted didn't click with people, the movie version, right? Is there's
Unfortunately.
so much CGI in that movie that I think there was a lot of good bones to it. I enjoyed it still, but like you 100% could tell a lot of this was like either studio or wire work, and you're like, this is just not. It doesn't have that same weight. It's like so
Right.
or not the chemistry, the physics are off. Like you
Yeah,
your
yeah.
mind can be like that doesn't look right.
Yeah, it's just not quite right.
So yeah, Red
100%.
One. Go ahead.
Who knows? Red. Will I watch Red One eventually? Yeah, I will. But that's
If
the
you've
thing
seen
too.
it,
Is like,
you gotta let us know if it's good. We could be wrong.
well,
Maybe it's
that's the
awesome.
thing. Is like my wife's always like, "Hey, let's watch Christmas movies," and it's like this is one that I would be like, "Okay, let's watch Red One," and she'd be like, "No, don't want to watch it." So I think that's what's wrong with this movie is like there's almost zero chance that I watch this movie on my own. Like this is not. So you're hitting this weird like middle demographic where it's not a Christmas movie that you're gonna want to watch with maybe if you have like kids or teenage boys or something like that. This is who they're trying to target to. But it's like me having just a daughter and a wife. Like I don't want to watch it by myself. Neither of them are gonna want to watch it. It's like
Right.
who are they targeting this for? This is like not what's gonna work. I don't know.
Not actiony enough for Nathanael, not Christmassy enough for the family. It's like, what are you doing?
Who are you trying to hit? But to that point, I love watching Christmas movies, and I do wish that there were more good action adventure Christmas movies, which that'll segue us right into.
Right, we'll get into those. Let's start backtracking to just in the same period of like I think they're really trying to right now make a men's adventure fiction Christmas classic. They are trying to recreate
they
the
really
magic
are.
of Die Hard and Lethal Weapon because we've had Silent Night, Violent Night, and Fatman all within the span of 10 years at least, or 5
and
maybe
then
even.
and then Red One too. Like,
Yeah, and Red One,
they
like these are all boom, 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 boom. Please, just one of these land, and they're not. I don't think any of these
they're
have
not
landed.
landing. Well, and that's what this is tough to talk about because like those three that you said, I've not seen Fat Man, I've not seen Violent Night or Silent Night, and I really wanted to. Like, dude, I remember I think Silent Night came out 2 years ago, a year ago, something like that. And Joel Kinnaman, dude, he's pushing his
great.
way to like deserving his own episode because he is so good. Great actor, and I believe that's directed by John Woo, right?
It is. It is.
Literally the king of gun fu. I remember seeing the trailers for that. Like, dude, hell yeah, I'm gonna go to the theaters and see this. And then I missed it in the theaters, and next thing I know, it's got 5 out of 10 stars on IMDb, like 30% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's like, is it just because it's not like it's a Christmas movie, but it's not, and people weren't expecting it, or is it like, are we pushing into John Woo in Mission Impossible 2, where for some reason 3/4 of the movie is very talky and has nothing to do with like the gun fu that John Woo is famous for, and then the last quarter is like, all right, this is cool, but you're like, what happened to the rest of it? And it's like, I just don't know. There's so many good things that are like highly like well rated and well loved that I haven't seen that I need to watch. So like when you have something like this, it's like, dude, I don't know that I can convince myself to spend the hour and a half to watch a
Right.
bad movie.
I never saw it either, or Violent Night. The Fat Man's the only one I saw, but I love Mel Gibson more than anybody could love Mel Gibson. It's
Yeah, Mel
a
Gibson's
problem.
freaking man.
But he's in that movie, and I saw that one. But it's like I don't ever rewatch it. It wasn't that good. I was like, okay, that's fine. I showed it to my dad. I'm pretty sure he didn't even finish it. He was like, I don't want to watch that. So
What
like,
is even the concept of it?
he's Santa.
He's
This
Santa?
kid, yeah, he's Santa. He's Fat Man. And this kid like is on the naughty list, or something happens with this kid, and he's like, I want Santa dead. I want to hire a hitman, which is played by Walter Goggins, another great actor.
Nice, nice.
And so Walter Goggins is sent to kill Santa, and it just doesn't. It's the best of these, I think. Probably, I haven't seen the other ones, so I'm being super biased toward what I've seen. But it's probably, I think it has the best reviews and like the best cast.
Yeah.
It's, but it's not. It's just very like very forgettable.
Yeah. It's tough. And I think that's where you get into this, like you said, when we were talking about this idea, you were like, they need to have the Die Hard tactic, because all of these movies that they made have been like 100% Christmas based.
Yeah.
And so then what happens is, Christmas has to be kind of like sidelined in there for you to really like, okay, this is a new Christmas classic, because when you say I'm making a Christmas movie, the things you need in a Christmas movie are like family, love,
Yeah, they're
snow,
almost diametrically opposed.
right, right, and then you have like someone's going to kill Santa. Like there's no joy. Like I don't know. It's so tough to do, which is it's sad, because I mean I've always had an idea in mind of like it would be sick to have like, which dude, I don't know if you've ever seen it. Have you seen Santa Claus is Coming to Town? The old claymation.
Yeah, 100%.
Dude, that honestly, that could be men's adventure fiction. That shows
Yeah.
it literally has a parkour chase. Claymation, so it's kind of creepy, super creepy. You
It
might
is
even
kind of
say.
creepy looking characters.
And
yeah.
the song, there's like 4 songs, and none of them are really Christmassy. But this one is like the Burgermeister Meisterburger, I think is his
Dude,
name,
yeah.
and he's this like big, enormous German dictator guy in medieval-ish times, and basically Chris Kringle, I don't even remember what his name was, but he's like was his name when he starts out. I think they're like, oh, let's name him Chris Kringle, and then he's because he's a baby. He literally gets put on the doorstep of a bunch of elves, and they're like, dude, let's just adopt this kid, and so they teach him how to make toys and stuff, and then he's like, why don't we just go give these toys to everybody in the world? They're like, dude, are you nuts? And so then he takes like a shipment. There's the Winter Warlock has all the woods on lockdown. If you haven't seen this movie, check it out. It's literally men's adventure fiction.
Dude, who's the guy? And I forget
It's
if
not
he's in
men's
this movie
adventure
or one of those other ones. But who's the guy with like the beard and he's got like the pickaxe and he's
Oh,
like the-
Yukon Cornelius.
Yeah, dude, Yukon Cornelius. So Casey's brother is he has red hair and he looks kind of like that. So for Halloween once he went as Yukon
Yes.
Cornelius, and it was the best thing I've ever seen. I was
Dude.
like, you
Dude,
gotta
we
just
could-
change your identity to Yukon Cornelius and make like a hard R Yukon Cornelius movie.
Yeah, that would be. Now that I would watch, dude. Or like how that's such a good idea. There's the Christmas movie.
They
Yeah,
might
Yukon. Go ahead.
I was gonna say this is gonna be off topic, so I'll actually let you finish. This is like closing out this segment, so go ahead.
Yeah, Yukon is from the claymation Rudolph, and that dude's got a single action army. He's got a pickaxe and I think a Bowie knife or something like that.
I love it.
Or a hammer, and he's literally just prospecting for gold. And he's got the classic rolled beanie, dude. Legend,
So sick.
legend. Love Yukon. So is the Rudolph movie men's adventure fiction? I don't know.
Good day, dude.
The,
It's got Bowie
the
knives.
hard R-rated Yukon Cornelius movie definitely would be. But yeah, basically, in Santa Claus is Coming to Town, Santa goes into the German town, and the guy's
Yeah.
like, it's illegal to have fun. So he has to sneak around and get these kids their toys. So it's pretty cool. It's got some like stealth stuff. It's,
Getting me hyped, dude. I gotta rewatch this movie.
I mean, I'm telling you, dude, it is creepy as can be, because
Yeah, they
like
are
claymation.
really gross looking.
Yeah. And then it
Refresh
kind
my
of just
memory.
ends.
Refresh my memory. Is this also the movie with a heat miser and Snow Miser? Is that also a different movie? Because all of these are
Dude,
just in my head as like one clump
that's
of
such a good
creepy
question because I
animation movies.
remember Heat Miser and Snow Miser, but we just watched the one, and I think it was only the Winter Warlock. I think
Okay.
Heat Miser and Snow Miser could be Jack Frost. I don't know.
We'll come back to this at a later date. I
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
was
Well, or maybe we will never come back.
we'll probably never return to this conversation. But if you know in the comments, you can let us know where the Heat Miser comes from, dude.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What I was gonna say is we might have another attempt at least. We do have another attempt at least. We might have a Christmas classic on our hands with Carry On. Have you seen or heard about Carry On Netflix?
I've heard of it. I have not seen it.
I haven't seen it yet either. I literally put it on, got 5 minutes into it before we started here.
Oh, nice.
So
You had to
I'm
prep in
invested.
case it was really good.
Yeah, in case it was sick. So I have not seen too much of it, but I know it's set on Christmas.
Nice.
It's Christmas Eve, I think. But there's like, again, I have seen 5 minutes. So I think there's like a bomb coming. He like is trying to get this TSA guy to let this bomb come through, and he's like bribing him, and then like the TSA guy's trying to like stop him. So it's almost like Paul Blart Mall Cop or Die Hard, but with a TSA guy
On a plane.
on a plane
That's
in
sick.
the airport. So we'll see how that goes. Let us know
Yeah,
if
that's
you
really
watched it
cool.
this season, and we'll talk about that one in the comments or in the Discord. We can chat about Carry On once I get through it.
Yeah.
I'll throw something in there.
Who's in that?
I'm forgetting his name. I'm just gonna say he's the guy from Kingsman first, while I try to
Okay,
remember
yeah,
his name.
Taron Egerton.
There you go, sir.
I knew someone I knew was in it, but I couldn't remember
Yep.
who it was. Yeah, it looks
And
pretty good.
Jason Bateman's the bad guy, dude. He's
Dude.
always like comedy, except for one or two roles, like The Gift. No, that's not him. He's been in serious stuff for
Yeah, yeah,
sure.
he was. What was his the show in the Ozarks?
Ozarks, yeah, Ozarks. Dude, our brains are not firing on a full cylinders right now for this Christmas episode, but it's
We're having
okay.
too much fun on Christmas.
So yeah, let's jump into some actually classic movies now. We'll titrate, still making our way towards Die Hard and Lethal Weapon. But you mentioned this one earlier when we had the conversation about what we could talk about. Home Alone, dude.
Oh yeah.
That's actually a great point because Kevin McAllister is a men's adventure fiction hero. He's got the BB gun. He freaking sets up his whole house like he's,
With the booby traps, dude.
the booby
It's
traps like he's in Vietnam. And he's just gonna take out these
right.
dudes.
He might have taught the Mummy how to set the traps in the Mummy movies because he's too good at it.
He's so good. He's a beast. And even before that, dude, think about how this guy's mind works. Of like, oh, they're coming. Let me hit play on this movie, and they're gonna think someone's in here. Or
Yeah,
when he
dude.
like sets up the party, and he's got that going. He's just
Oh yeah, and he's got
making
like
them
the
work
puppets
and
and
the puppets.
stuff.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
so sick. And
Amazing.
even just like Kevin McAllister, could we make an argument that Kevin McAllister is the ultimate Sigma male? Like, doesn't get along with any of his family. This is a massive hot take. I'm gonna immediately recant, but I said that. But yeah, Kevin McAllister is a stud, and it's great to see like, and this is kind of what we talk about when we say like, there's stories that we wrote in Fighting Hard a Man that were like, dude, this should be like, this is stuff that's gonna fire up young men like 12 to 16 to above, maybe even a little younger depending on how
movies they've
mature they
seen.
are. Yeah, exactly. And that's like what Kevin McAllister does, dude. When you're a kid and you're like, your parents are like, all right, we got to watch a Christmas movie, and then they're like, you got all these old black and white movies, all the creepy claymation movies that we just talked about, and then they dust off the old DVD of Home Alone, and you're like, dude, if I got left home alone, I pray that I would be Kevin McAllister because the dude's a stud. Like, even there's times like if I could handle a home invasion like Kevin McAllister, dude,
Yeah,
it would be
dude.
game over.
He's a beast, and he definitely, to your point, like inspires the young kids. Because, dude, okay, this is why Home Alone's amazing because it actually has that underlying plot too of you're what the French call les incompetents. They're calling him incompetent.
Yeah.
They're roasting the like shit out of him. And he's just like, dude, I'm not incompetent. And he gets to see how he rises to the occasion, dude. All he needed to do was go to war with two criminals, and he would show you how sick he was. Like, I can't pack my own bag, but I can take on two robbers.
I can pack this house so full of booby traps
I
that
could
they
torture
shouldn't
man's
even
head
walk out
off.
alive. Yeah, dude. And then you get Home Alone 2, where he's in New York City
Lost in
by
New York, dude.
himself, dude. What? And Donald Trump
Yeah,
shows
he
him the way.
thrives. He gets into freaking Trump Towers or whatever. He goes to like Trump Hotel, I mean.
What
And
what
he's
a
like,
stud, dude.
he's just ripping his dad's credit card, getting all kinds of good treatment. And
Yeah.
the guy's like, for a tip. And I forget if he gives him gum or whatever.
Yeah, he
does.
gives him gum. He like pulls the gum out of his mouth. Dude, Kevin McAllister is the beast.
He's a stud, dude.
Yeah. So he's like, and I think that, which is crazy that I'm about to say, there's lessons we can learn from Kevin McAllister.
There
But
are, man.
there are, dude. There literally are. But that's what it is. It's like you said, the presence of mind, dude. When the guy first comes and he just grabs the remote and he plays the scene, genius. Like I wish
beast.
that I could think that quickly. Like there's, I'll think of a good comeback like 3 days later
Right.
after an argument. It's like, oh yeah, dude, that would have been fire. I'm
So
glad it
that's
came to me now.
That's where I want to point the internet here to a very funny part of the internet. You go from Men's Adventure Fiction Podcast, right? You're going to finish this episode, and what you're going to do is look up the weird theories that exist about Kevin McAllister. Because there are two that I brought to Nathaniel's attention that I've heard of that are pretty funny.
Yeah, this
And
is
I'm
sick.
sure there are more. So please look into the funny Kevin McAllister theories. First one is way less believable because he's not British, but it's that he grew up to be James Bond. And the
Yes.
second one is that he grew up to be Jigsaw from Saw. And that's why he
That's
has the
crazy.
traps. And it's like, what's wrong with people? The internet has too much time on its hands. What are we doing here? It's very funny that these things exist.
That is
but
funny.
look into those.
Yeah.
Let's jump into the next one, man. Okay, you have another point
No,
on
no,
Home Alone? 'Cause I
you're
want more
good.
Home Alone. All right, I could talk about Home Alone for
Home
the whole
Alone.
episode if we need to.
When you talked last week about the sniper movies, and then
Yeah.
immediately going with the sequel releases being straight to DVD, like,
Yeah.
do not watch any other Home Alones other than 1 and 2. It's,
1 and 2, dude.
It's
The
terrible.
newest one especially is like a crime against humanity. I think they should probably arrest the people who made that. It wasn't good at all, dude.
It's so sad.
You guys might know I work with kids on the autism spectrum. We do social skills, and like sometimes we have like Christmas party type situations. We had one. They picked watching Home Alone, and we were doing a vote, and I was just, please, Home Alone, please, dude, please. Pick.
Home Alone.
I was like,
Okay.
please pick the. They were like going through all the Home Alones, and they're like, raise your hand for this one, and I was like, dude, the first one's got to win. It's got to win, or the second one. And it was the newest one. They all picked the newest one, and I was just no. So I was trapped and forced to watch it, and I was in pain. I was in pain. So
Brutal.
do not watch that.
Right, and this kind of ties back into what we were saying about Silent Night, Violent Night, Fat Man, Red One. It's like someone lost the formula for a good Christmas movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. Along the way, they just totally biffed it because they also made a Christmas Story Christmas I
Too,
think.
yeah.
Which like, and I mean, you can make an argument. There's some pretty sick, like the whole BB gun arc and the cool like
Yeah.
when what's his name, Richie.
Ralphie and Randy.
Yeah,
The
Ralphie.
two guys.
I watch
Yeah.
that movie every year, but when
It's
Ralphie
one of those
is
ones
like,
that's in the background. You're doing family stuff. It's
yep,
just
yep,
buzzing.
exactly. When Ralphie has the like his imaginings of what's gonna happen when he gets the Red Ryder BB gun and he's shooting all the criminals,
robbers
yeah,
coming
dude, classic. So there's a touch of men's adventure fiction there, but that's to say back to my main point is like, how do we have these? I mean, what's the last good Christmas movie? It's like Elf, right? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe, but there's one that I love that people probably wouldn't agree with, dude. Is Daddy's Home 2 is one of my all-time favorites now.
I
because it
didn't
has-
even know that was a Christmas movie.
Dude, it's got Mel Gibson as Mark Wahlberg's dad, and it's got John Lithgow, who's hilarious, as Will Ferrell's dad. And it's a Christmas movie, and they all get like an Airbnb together.
Dude, that sounds great.
Honestly, probably a terrible movie, but I love it. So I'm gonna go and say that one's the last great Christmas movie. But before that, you're right. It's probably Elf, and I do like Elf.
And what I've been trying to say this whole time, like the only reason you watched the Home Alone movie is because you were forced to, and
Yeah.
that's like I feel like that it's sad that we're at this place where it's like, I mean, especially for men's adventure fiction, Christmas movies, but also for just Christmas movies in general. It's like, dude, these new Christmas movies coming out, like every year you get a new one, and every year you're like, you're gonna have to force me to watch this. Like,
Yeah.
there's not a chance I'm gonna watch it. Like, I don't even need to. Just watching the trailers is enough for me to know that this is not gonna be good. Like, I don't know why we keep.
They got to figure it out, dude. They
Yeah,
got to
they
get
got to
their
figure.
stuff together.
Maybe, and maybe that's what we need to do here.
We're gonna
Sound
make
off
it
and below.
perfect.
Let's write the story. Let's write the plot. Someone write a comment, and it's gonna be the first sentence. We're just gonna keep it going.
Keep building
We've
it.
got the new
thread,
men's.
Which, yeah, we got to get back to the roots of this next one, right? Jingle All the Way. Talk about classic Christmas movie, dude. Jingle All the Way did what every 90s movie did ever, which was bad dad not hanging out with his son. Got to learn the lesson to hang out with his son. That was like the plot of 90% of 90s movies.
Yeah.
And Jingle All the Way is no exception. It is one of those. And it's on this list for one reason and one reason only. One double bicep reason called Arnold Schwarzenegger, dude.
Yeah, dude.
He's the man.
Monster.
How could you go wrong?
Yeah. I mean, and also, dude, like the
The action
pinnacle
figure
of the
itself.
movie, yeah, is crazy. It's like
Turbo
almost Turbo Man, like a Buzz Lightyear Power Ranger combo character.
Yep.
Which, like, it's kind of sad that this movie didn't make a Turbo Man movie come from it with Arnold
What's up with
as
that, dude?
that would have been pretty cool. I would have
Yeah,
definitely
dude.
watched that. Yeah, great movie. Also, like, there's bomb threats throughout the movie. That's
Yeah,
nice adventure
dude.
fiction. There's like some really strange fist fights and set pieces. This I had never seen this movie until a couple weeks ago.
Really?
My wife was like, we should watch a Christmas movie. I think we just got our Christmas tree, and my brother-in-law was like, Jingle All the Way, and I was like, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. I know we're in for a treat, and we watched it, and my wife she couldn't look away. I don't know if it was like one of those like a bad car accident where like you have to watch it to see what's going on,
Yeah.
but you're hating every second of it. But at the end, we were like, me and my brother-in-law, like, I'm so excited to watch this next year. And I was like, I don't think I can do this again. I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to handle it.
Dude. It's
But-
so good. And that's
Yeah.
another one they made a terrible sequel to that you shouldn't watch, and I've never seen it, but it's Jingle All the Way 2 with Larry the Cable Guy. It exists.
What?
Yeah, dude. It's real.
They replaced? Are you telling me they replaced Arnold for Larry the Cable Guy?
Yeah, I'm telling you, yeah.
You can't be. No.
It's
This is
true.
what I'm saying.
the problem.
This is what's wrong with Christmas movies for some. That's crazy. All
Yeah,
right.
Jingle All the Way. We won't have to touch on it long, other than to say it's hilarious. If you haven't seen it, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's great in comedy roles. Like he's really
he
good
is.
in comedic roles. He's got it down pat. So check that movie out. Very fun. If you haven't seen it, if you have, give me your best line. Give me your favorite line from Jingle All the Way. 'Cause there's some classics in that one. My personal favorite is when he yells at the guy to get off, put the cookie down. Oh, and he's so good.
Yeah.
Put the cookie down now. He's in the paper,
Dude,
he's
that's
screaming.
That's a great impression. You got
thanks,
Arnold on lock. I did.
You
I
got
did
Stallone.
Stallone last week.
Yeah.
Dude, we gotta bring Arnold and Stallone back, and it'll be you and me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I don't know if I know the movie well enough to pick out a single quote.
It's all right. Next year we'll
I
come
think
back to it.
the quote, the big reveal at the end, when he's like, I don't want to spoil it.
Jamie
Yeah, something along
pulls
those
him up on stage.
Yeah, so good, so good.
All right, guys. This next one, we'll jump out of Jingle All the Way, and this is the bridge. This is the last one I have before we get to Lethal Weapon and Die Hard. This is the bridge to Lethal Weapon. I don't know if you've seen this movie or not. I forget if you said you have. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Have you seen
I
this?
have not seen this.
So, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is written, maybe directed by, but definitely written by the guy who wrote Lethal Weapon, Shane Black. And it stars Robert Downey Jr., Val Kilmer, I believe those are the two. And it's, if you guys have seen The Nice Guys, have you seen The Nice Guys?
No, I actually haven't.
Bro, you
no,
haven't
no,
seen
no.
The
Yeah, I
Nice
have
Guys?
seen the
I
nice
was gonna
guys.
say, you
I was
gotta have
thinking,
seen The Nice
I haven't
Guys.
seen the other guys.
Okay, yeah, that doesn't matter so much. But The Nice Guys is great.
Nice Guys
with the
is
Ryan
so good.
Gosling, Russell
So
Crowe.
good.
It's got that vibe to it, which I think that's Shane Black too.
Yeah, that
Now I
sounds,
think about it.
That sounds true.
Yeah, okay, so
I
we're going
think
to say
you're
it's
right.
true. It's a fact now. So
100%.
Shane Black also wrote Kiss Kiss Bang, but I actually think it is because I think I watched Nice Guys in theaters and I was like, this is amazing. I want more. And so I looked up on the internet more movies like this and it was like, well, he wrote Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. It's like the same thing. And so it's another like duo movie with Robert Downey
Yeah.
Jr., Val Kilmer. It's detective noir type thing.
Dude,
Very funny Shane Black
this was
humor.
awesome.
Set in Christmas, dude. So it's another one that you can throw on in the Christmas season. It does it well, like Lethal Weapon. So I just wanted to throw that on the list as a recommendation. But now let's talk about Lethal Weapon first, because Die Hard, I think, is one king of the king
Yeah.
Christmas movie, action movie guys.
Well,
So
no, let me ask you, which one do you like better? Lethal
Lethal
Weapon.
Weapon for me, for sure, dude.
I
But I
think I
know
agree.
objectively people like Die Hard more. I'm
Yeah.
just more of a Lethal Weapon guy because
The,
Mel Gibson, dude.
Mel Gibson's so, and he does the crazy, suicidal, badass
Yeah,
dude so well. Yeah, Lethal Weapons. I mean, it's like the Godfather of the buddy cop comedy
yeah.
drama. It's just
And that
perfect.
and that's the point. This conversation would have to turn into how great is the movie. Let's look at the characters. Let's look at the plot. Let's look at the chemistry. Let's look at the writing. It's not like what gimmick did they have with stealing Santa or whatever. Like there's not even the Christmas discussion here, but it is a Christmas classic and people rewatch it and they
Right.
mention it on their lists because it's set. That's all you need. Like you don't have to overdo it. It's set in Christmas. There are lights in the background. Cool. It adds to the noir vibes. The sweet
Yeah.
Christmas lights, just adds the ambiance. People
Yeah.
were fine with that. You don't need to go overboard all the way to like Fatman or Red One status to make a Christmas classic. This did it, and it's all focused on how good the movie is. That's got to be first. You can't come in with the intention of we're gonna make a sweet Christmas action movie. It's got to be
Right.
we're gonna make a sweet action movie, and it takes place on Christmas. So I
Yeah.
think that's one of the major points that's sticking out in my head is like Lethal Weapon did not try overtly to be like this is a Christmas movie. You're gonna watch
Yeah.
this on Christmas, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Lethal Weapon's so good, and I mean, it's really like I said, it's kind of like fundamental to the building blocks that became buddy cop movies. After that, I
Yeah.
feel like where you have like very serious, clean cut kind of guy who likes to do things by procedurally. I think that I broke that
Yeah,
word
it's a
up wrong.
hard word to say procedurally. Yeah, I don't even know how it would go about that word.
But he likes to do things in a
By the
way that
book.
follows a procedure.
Yeah.
And then you bring in someone who's just absolutely reckless, a nut job, but so badass, so sick. You kind of want to be him a little bit. I mean, the one thing that always sticks out to me is the scene in the firing lanes when they're training together.
Yeah, dude.
And
He's smiling face. Dude.
yeah. Murtaugh pulls out the revolver and he's like shooting, and he's a good shot. And then Riggs just sends it out there and he shoots the smiley face and brings it back. It's like yeah, dude, this is sick. It's just the classic like old man with the revolver, young guy, and he's got a Beretta. It's sick. So I love the movie. It's so fun. I mean
Yeah.
the part where they send him up there to talk the suicidal guy off the edge. It's
Oh
like,
yeah,
like they
dude.
do.
Classic.
It's such a good job of being like really like hard impact, not like pulling punches action movies, and then somehow also really funny. Like it's not one of those movies because I feel like if you get into like action comedy realm, it can lose its weight, and you're like, okay, this is just
Right.
a goofy movie. Like I'm not watching this movie for the action, but this movie is like
Yeah.
this is a very like dangerous movie. Like it's actually real stakes, real challenges, real. And I think that's what's so good about it. It's like, oh yeah, I'm still laughing though. Like there's good parts to it.
Dude, I agree with you 100%. I have this conversation and disagreement with a lot of people where I'm like, I love Lethal Weapon, the first one, so much, and two is pretty good, but I'm not a huge fan of like three and four because I feel like they leaned too hard into the comedy when they had like Joe Pesci and like they try to really up
Yeah.
the comedy. I'm like, I like it still. I'm still gonna say it's better than 80% of action movies, but it's like
Right.
it's not as good as that first one. It balanced to your point is struck so well of like this is intense and real, and it's like one of the first movies to have jujitsu in it, like mixed martial arts and
Nice.
stuff, where Mel Gibson's like doing triangle chokes on dudes
that's so
when he's
cool.
getting tortured. It's like, wow, this is a hard edge movie, but like you said, I'm also laughing because Shane Black is a very funny guy. I always
Yeah.
think of one of my favorite Shane Black moments ever is in The Nice Guys where Ryan Gosling tries to punch out that window and he like cuts himself. He's like, oh, it's just bleeding
Yeah, or
everywhere.
when he goes to throw the gun and he throws it, he misses the throw. Right? It's just
Yeah,
so
dude,
good.
little things are so good like that. And to your point of like the buddy cop, this is it's got to be the Godfather of buddy cop films. Like
Yeah.
Rush Hour is a really good buddy cop story, but it's emulating what
Right.
was started in
Right.
Lethal
That's what I
Weapon.
was
It
gonna
did.
say. I'm sure that there's, if like you go really really far back, there's probably
Mhm.
like the buddy cop formula is played out earlier, but I wouldn't. I have no idea. I mean, maybe if you're like a big film nerd and you know who really did the
Yeah, you gotta
first,
let us
like,
know. Let us
I
know.
mean, I mean, maybe you could argue that it's like Holmes and Watson have a buddy cop thing going on,
Yeah.
but it's not. It's no Riggs and Murtaugh.
Yeah, dude. And like a piece of writing advice to take from Lethal Weapon for any writers who are watching the podcast is characters are defined by like relationships and defined by who they're not. You really want to show us who a character's about, show us, who they're not. That's what I love about the story we wrote together. It was one of the best times
Yeah.
I've been able to do that, where it's like, wow, you really get to see who Noah is and you really get to see who Sal is because they keep running into each other and like butting heads. So just
Right. The
if you're struggling to find out who your character is and you define it to the audience, let's put some more characters in their
right.
way. Get them talking to more people, and they'll reveal to you what they agree with, what they don't agree with, what.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
and that this movie does that to a T.
100%. Yeah, that's what I mean. It thrives at that, and that's what makes it so fun. Is like, and I think it's good too because you have, and this is to that writing advice that you're saying. Like, make them opposite ends of the spectrum to the point where it's like nobody is as crazy as Riggs. Nobody is like
Right.
as steadfast and clearly like clear cut as Murtaugh. But then it's like so you can at multiple times throughout the movie. It's like I relate more to him. I relate more to him. And I think that that's good because now it's like, because if you have one clear character who's much more enjoyable, everyone relates to more, then it's like, okay, I don't even care about the other guy. Just get rid of him. Just give me the Riggs movie or just give me the Murtaugh movie,
Right.
But when you're able to have it back and forth, you're like, oh, dude, that was so stupid for Mel Gibson to do that. Like, why did he do that? And I think that that's when you kind of are able to like invest in both characters, and that's what happens. Is like, yeah, now they have each other's back, and it comes back to our one man army conversation that we had months ago. Now it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
you need a brother who got you back.
Absolutely. And the dual arcs, dude, nothing better than that. You got two character arcs. You get to see two paths of redemption, two heroes. So
Yeah,
I
for
love
sure.
that.
Yeah,
But now we are going one man army to talk about
one man army.
the king of Christmas movies in a lot of people's eyes, Die Hard. So
Dude.
go ahead. What are your thoughts on John McClane, Die Hard? Maybe even the whole franchise. We can make it general real quick before we jump out
Yeah.
down to Die Hard, the first one.
I think I've watched 1 and 2. I don't think I watched 3. I watched Live Free or Die Hard, and I did not watch
Whatever the new
the-
one's called.
Yeah, the one with Jai Courtney, I think, is in it. I really, really like Live Free or Die Hard. It has a really sick scene where he's in the apartment and a sniper's shooting at him, and he's got a
Hey,
crazy
snipers.
shootout, gunfight. Really, really, really fun movie. I enjoy that. But dude, Die Hard, the first one. I mean, once again, we got another Beretta. Love it.
Yeah,
I love
Berettas
it.
everywhere.
And he also has a shoulder holster for a lot of the movie, I think.
Yes, he does.
Or at least a portion of it. And he's got the white tank, dude. It's just like it's so classic. I think that it's just so well done, and it really defined a whole entire new subgenre. I mean, from
Right.
stuff like this, like we get the Raid, right?
Carry On's just come out. We're like, is still copying Die Hard.
Exactly.
Or he's like,
It's like basically kind of like a reverse capture the flag, like hold the outpost type of thing. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna put one guy in with like 40 bad guys, and he's got to get out of it alive, and he's got to save all the hostages that are in there. It's like where you get the Daredevil stairwell and hallway scenes. It's kind of like that same idea. It's like, all right, there's an insurmountable passage that this guy has to get out, and he's one man by himself, and he's got to do it. And I think it's just like, it's so good. It's like, it's also so fun. It's just such a great piece of writing because everything that happens just for the perfect reason to make it work. Because like you think about it, like there's so many things in everyday life for me specifically where I think like, dude, so good that God was looking out for me, like that I didn't do this stupid thing a few minutes earlier because I'd probably be dead now, And it's like the
Right.
same thing when you're watching this movie. Like I remember the first time I watched it, like, man, it's so like lucky for them that John McClane came, like he has no business being there at this party, right? Like isn't the whole idea that he was gonna go see his ex-wife and she was not at the place, so she said just come meet me at the party and we'll talk. And he shows up there and it's like really lucky for everybody else, really unlucky
Right.
for Hans Gruber and the boys. He goes, things are about to go bad for him, and it's just like it's one of those things. Like if you have a story that makes the viewer literally like breathe out his breath of like, whew, I can't believe he got lucky enough to slip in there and save the day. Because it's like if John McClane isn't there, like who knows? Everybody's gonna freaking die in that building.
Yeah.
Like, and so that's what's so cool. It's a great movie.
Yeah, dude. It's also character wise like one of the most people I think people love and cling to, especially as a holiday movie. Cling to the fact that he has like real relationship problems. It's like a family drama. There's a lot of that
Yeah.
cooked into it. They just decided to throw that into this, thwarting of that terrorist situation. But that's what the movie does so well is that it's like this everyman.
Right.
He's not Jackie Chan from Rush Hour. He's not like extraordinarily skilled commando Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's
Right.
not Turbo Man. He's got to figure this thing out as just a regular, I think, New York cop. He's got the family issues going on here, and so people really can cling to that, relate to that. And for the holidays, it's kind of perfect. It's still like got that family movie vibe to it,
Right.
but doesn't play it up a whole lot. It's not like Focus. We're forcing it like, you know, even Home Alone is what it is. It's a Christmas. It's trying to be like at its heart a Christmas movie. So you have that
Yeah.
hugging at the end and like we learned our lesson. It doesn't. Die Hard doesn't have to do that, but it still is
Yeah.
kind of
It
like
still
DNA of that in
sort of
there.
does that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's DNA of it and it happens, but it's like
Yeah.
done
Exactly.
in such an action movie way, and to your point, a very classic action movie way. It's almost like if I were to show an alien comes down is like, what is American action cinema? You're like, all right, let me grab you Die Hard, let me grab you Lethal Weapon. They're gonna be in the stack
Yep.
of like,
Yep.
go watch these. This is
Yeah.
what
This is
American
what you
action
need.
cinema is.
Yeah. That's a really good point. And
'Cause it doesn't get more classic.
to your point of like the family drama, that also strikes home to Christmas time too. Like how many people are going home for the
Right.
holidays and they're
Right.
having to deal with strained relationships with their family. I mean, heck, it may be maybe you're listening to this on your way to your family dinner. And you
Right.
have to
You're
deal with like,
frustrated.
yeah, your stressed out family. It's like, dude, just imagine that they're Hans Gruber and the terrorists, and you're John McClane, and you got to get out of there alive. I mean, don't like kill them or anything, or be
Throw him
really
off the
mean.
building.
Yeah, yeah. All right, hold on. Don't imagine that. But have the
Fighting
uh,
spirit, fighting heart of man, dude.
same fighting heart of man that John McClane had to get through that situation. But just turn it to your uncomfortable family dinner that you may be having.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's a really good point that I don't know that I ever thought about. It's like that's so true, and it's something that you wouldn't necessarily see in like a classic Christmas movie. It's like Christmas movies are usually like joyful, happy, everything's good. They don't really always deal with like, yeah, someone's gonna say something about politics at family dinner, and everyone's gonna start fighting, and that's gonna
Right.
stress the heck out of me. Like I'm not gonna have a good time when that happens. Um,
Yeah.
and that's literally John McClane and his wife. Just like as within moments of seeing each other, they just start
Just
arguing.
fighting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, dude, this is a Christmas movie, but not necessarily the way you would expect it to be.
Very good. That's why I think it leans into the Christmas vibes and heart more than Lethal Weapon, so I'll give it the win. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
100% like Lethal Weapon better. Die Hard to me, to kind of do in a reverse order, and we bookended it with your thoughts on the franchise, and I'll end it here with my thoughts of like the first one, for sure, amazing, great movie, but it's not my favorite of the franchise. I like 3 the best. Die Hard with a Vengeance is
Nice.
so sick. Domestic terrorist, phone calls going around the city, has a super interesting plot, and throws in a little bit of the buddy cop dynamic in there with
Okay,
Samuel
cool.
L. Jackson as
Okay,
like
cool.
the partner. I've actually never seen Die Hard 2. I have seen
Okay,
Die
'cause
Hard with, or I have seen, what did you say it was
Live
called?
Free or Die Hard.
I have seen that one. That was sweet. And then I have not seen the Jai Courtney one.
I was gonna ask you because I did not watch Die Hard 3 because Die Hard 2 I think has Die Hard 3 doesn't have a snowmobile scene, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, there's
No,
this
it's like in the city, like New York City,
yeah,
on the
there's
streets.
he's in an airport in Die Hard 2 and has to stop a bomb thing going
So it's
something like
Carry
that.
On, dude.
It
Is it
sounds like it's
Carry On
Carry On, yeah.
copied immediately?
um, but dude, it has one of the worst scenes of my whole entire career of watching action movies. He like
Yeah.
drives the snowmobile up over this hill and like shoots the guys, but the whole entire time they're like shooting at him from the side, and there's like no chance that it's just you'd have to watch it. But I remember
Okay,
watching it
I'll
and
look
being
it up.
like I literally rewound it and like called my wife. I was like, watch how bad this scene is. And she's like, wow, that's like. So it was one of those things. Like there's scenes in some like really good movies that are believable up to a point, and then they just throw one scene in from like left field that you're like for me there that's one of the John Wick movies. Like the whole entire movie up till the very end of John Wick 3 is totally believable. And then they do something to John Wick, and I'm like, dude, this just like almost like retcon the whole entire movie in my mind because it's so not believable. Like I just can't believe it at all. I
Just
think that
takes you out instantly.
yeah, I'm like, what the heck happened just now? Which is how I felt with that. Like I'm watching John McClane drive the snowmobile up and kill these dudes, and I'm like, there's not a chance. Like it just looks bad. But maybe Die Hard 2 is your favorite of them, and I've really like you're like no dude that scene was sick.
Yeah, you're
I
like,
don't
what are you talking about? I
yeah
love the snowmobile scene. You get
I
out of
think
here.
that that would be
Unsubscribe.
I think that would be hard to argue though. I don't know. Maybe I got to rewatch it. It's been years, but to know that Die Hard 3 is good,
I love it.
I'm gonna have to watch that. That's cool.
It's really cool. But yeah, like think about how many movies copy Die Hard. I think that could be a whole episode of itself as like Die Hard clones because
Yeah,
Speed could probably be considered a Die
yeah,
Hard
dude, that's a
clone.
good
Paul
point.
Blart is 100% a clone. Have you seen Game Over Man?
No, I haven't.
It's a Netflix movie from the Workaholics guys, comedy, not an
Right.
action movie, like not an actual action movie. It's a
Hmm.
comedy, but it's another copied the thing. They're like in a hotel and it gets like terrorists take it over, and then these guys are like maybe they're like maintenance men or something, but they end up having to like save the day. But
Nice.
think about, I mean, that's another thing to throw in the comments because I'm blanking right now. Maybe you have some more to throw out there, but dude, how many movies copy Die Hard of? Our one man's in the situation now. He's gonna have to carry on right now today. Like
Right.
we're still doing it, dude. We're still like one guy who has the skills, is there, and he will help you.
Yeah.
It's a trope now. Die Hard has
Yeah.
become a trope.
For sure. It's almost like Groundhog Day, right? Like Die Hard and
Hmm.
Groundhog Day have had very like similar diverging things where it's like, all right, we love the fact that someone dies or something happens and they relive the same day. It's like, all right, we
Right,
love having a guy stuck in a building all by himself and he's got to fight his way out. It's
right.
and it is definitely good. I like it, but I think the reason that I don't like Die Hard as much as I like Lethal Weapon, specifically just the first two movies, like I said, we could talk about the other ones some other time, but I don't like that it's only in one location. That's
Mm.
like one of my favorite parts of men's adventure fiction as a whole is the globe trotting side of it. So to be like and it's like it would be fine because he sort of does end up traveling all over the place in the following ones. But like to have I love the character of John McClane. He is one of the like you said the everyman. He's like so cool, so relatable. You want to be him. You're like I'm not necessarily going to be a John Wick type, but I could definitely be a John McClane type. And
Yeah,
I
it
could
gives you
come in.
false hope that you could be just like as sick as John
Yeah,
McClane for
exactly.
sure.
Which is great, and that's the whole point of the thing. But it's like I want to see John McClane traveling all over the world doing this sort of thing, and I guess that's what happens. And those series gets increasingly bad depending on who you ask. So
Right. I think
I
people
digress.
who don't like Die Hard with event. No, what do you say? Live for your Die Hard. I think people who don't like that. I think a complaint I hear a lot is that they lost sight of Die Hard 1, where he's like this everyman. And it's like kind of now he is like another just James Bond or
Yeah,
whatever. He's just. But I think that's why you and I had fun with it and liked it so much. It's like, yeah, dude,
yeah,
I'll
it's
take
a
him
really
as like a sick action hero. I don't care. I
it's a
love it.
really fun movie. Yeah, I think that makes sense. People are like,
Justin Long's in that too. I love that
yeah,
guy.
yeah, he is great. Yeah, great movie, great movie. Um, we just need
We
to do
lost
like
all credibility probably saying we like that, but it's okay.
no, it's great. We need to do like a deeper dive on
The
movies like this.
franchise.
I mean, yeah, the franchise of Die Hard, the franchise of Lethal Weapon. I don't know if it's just like a big overarching 80s action movies type of thing where we just dive into them, but
Dude,
yeah,
yeah, that'll have to be like a part 1, part 2, part 3 type thing. Because you
yeah,
still
that
got
would be.
First Blood going
We've got
on here. You
so
got
much to
Commando.
work
You got Cobra. You got all the movies came out in the 80s,
and
dude.
two of the greatest Christmas movies of all time.
Absolutely. Yeah, so thank you for spending your Christmas with us if you did watch us on Christmas. If not, how did your holiday go? Was it fantastic? Going into the new year, what are you looking
I
forward
know.
to? Yeah, there's so much to talk about, so we can't do it all here in the comments. You got to come over to the Discord and let's chat about
Yeah.
2025. Let's chat about Christmas. Let's chat about Die Hard, Lethal Weapon, Kevin McAllister being Jigsaw, all of it.
Or
We need to talk.
Kevin McAllister growing up and being John McClane, because
Maybe
Home Alone is pretty much just Die Hard for kids.
I'm gonna
Which,
look that up as soon as we end here and see if that's actually a theory on the internet. Because, like I said, probably is, dude.
well, it's got someone has to have talked about it because the TV show Brooklyn Nine-Nine talks about that. They're
Oh,
like, yeah,
okay. Yeah,
Home
yeah.
Alone is basically just Die Hard for kids, and it's true. I mean, yeah, yeah. But I would also say drop your suggestions of whatever Christmas movies you watch, or if it's fiction. I remember a couple years ago, last year maybe it was, Otto Penzler, who is a really great editor and writer. He's the guy who put together like the Big Book of Pulp Adventure and the Big Book of Detective Stories. I think
Yeah.
he had a Big Book of Christmas Mysteries, and it was really
Nice.
fun. I enjoyed reading it. It was a little, it wasn't super pulpy. It was more like kind of Agatha Christie, Arthur Conan Doyle type of thing.
Hmm.
It was more like procedural.
Right.
Had to bring it in one more time.
There you go. You crushed it that time too.
It sounded a little weird to me, but we'll we'll leave that one alone. But if you like The Spy Who Came for Christmas, drop those recommendations so next year we can have we'll read it. We can have something. We'll watch it. We'll read it. We'll talk about it. But because
Perfect.
we'll have another Christmas episode. And we
Right.
got to talk about
Yeah.
stuff. So
This will
give
be
us
our
some more
yearly
recs
event here,
Yeah.
Christmas episode.
until and hopefully in the next year or two they'll finally give us another good Christmas.
Yeah,
action movie.
the new Die Hard, the new Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, we can.
We'll be able to talk about the new classic.
Next year it'll just be us being like, sorry, we roasted up Red One. It was a great movie.
Yeah, we're just defending that the entire time. We're like, well, why Red One is the best holiday action
Why
film that's
Red
ever
One is
existed.
better than Die? I can't even finish the sentence. It's too preposterous. If you liked Red One, please tell us.
Yeah,
I want
we could be
I
wrong.
want an excuse to watch it. I want to watch it, but I just am not. I'm never going to. But if it was good, tell me, please.
Absolutely. Well, guys, thank you so much. Merry Christmas again.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you for joining me and Nathaniel here. Merry Christmas to you as well and your family. So
Thanks, brother.
we
You
will
too.
see you all very soon. Take care.